challenge it to, name only American, documented American. Let me actually take this U.S. history diagnostic test that I've never opened up. I'm not lying. I haven't ever done this. 이게 진짜 안 풀었어요. 어디 갔어? 이거 diagnostic test에서 몇 점 나오나? 니 죽었어, Bradley. What if all early presented in the age of part of what is now? Anasazi. The only safety man is to cultivate reason, extend his knowledge, enlightenment. It's really more like progressive, but enlightenment. Where is enlightenment? What's enlightenment? Then it's a secular humanism. Yeah, that's enlightenment. Only the people to arrive in America probably following or hers over connected to Siberia. Siberia to North America, I believe. The Age of Pig invasion was a low point of which the U.S. administration, John F. Kennedy. The map above suggests the region the Continental Congress chose to meet in Philadelphia was that. What was that? No. It's the central location for the investors? No. It was a capital of the Quaker colony, right? Philadelphia was in the first place. There was a capital. 있네 수도 in Philadelphia. No? It's a constitutional capital. Is that one? It's a constitutional. The Constitution states the President of the United States is to be elected by the electorate. No. Popular vote. No. Supreme Court. No. Congress. No. The electoral college system. Which of the following served as a president of the United States without being elected to that office? Who was that? Jerry Ford. I can only think of Jerry Ford. Who was that after Abraham Lincoln? He was assassinated. Oh, shit. William Henry Harrison? Oh, what's that? I can no longer actually remember it. I'm not lying. It's really annoying. Can you just actually go away because I don't like you being in part of the scenario? Which of the phone? Oh, I cannot. Let me actually get in my grow up in Cleveland. It's Abraham Lincoln's successor, but I can't actually remember the name of it. Oh my dear, William Henry. I will actually go with it. Economic troubles in the years in World War I, unequal distribution income in the United States, the Great Depression. It's an easy one, right? The United States has become involved in affairs into China because of departure from this area, colonial. France, I think. France was really the one taking over the Vietnam, but after France's departure, why did the President Abraham Lincoln greet Henry Beecher Stowe with the "You are little lady who started this great war"? Her novel had to turn many people against slavery, I think. Her book I read in English. The American Federation of Labor was founded in 1880, primarily as a result of it's a strikes in a workplace across the country, no? Then eventually it led to the Theo Teddy Roosevelt's progressive era social reform, if my memory is correct. No preparation. I was really kind of turned off, so I decided to come to my house, and this has never been sold. I'm not lying. I actually purchased so many books. I had a tendency to actually gather resources that I never opened up. I swear to God, I don't really remember it, and I never even actually had done it. If there's anyone who watched me, have I actually done this? No. You actually kindled me. You actually, someone actually on the webpage said that, oh, you are so moron. You don't really know a thing about it, so you're going to be easily beaten by Lorraine. And let's try to actually see that. Who was the winner of the first president election in the Mitsubishi? Now let's see. Let's search who. State, technically state presidential. Isn't that John Quincy Adams? I kind of forgot it. The great security against the gradual concentration of several powers in the several department consists in giving to those who admire each department the necessary constitutional means to resist. System of checks and balances, which is the significant shadows behind the five men gesturing toward the immigrant in the cartoon. Looking backward. They're all immigrants. They show that the men were once immigrants or children of immigrants. Look back. If you are going to say no, you're in the first place arrived here through the Ellis Island as immigrants. Jim Crow laws have a sudden state law designed to enforce racial segregation. Law supported by, no, awarded by. Proposal for legal taxes, no, that's what's that, prohibition. Regulation provoked whiskey, no. A tax imposed on the colony, that's what's that, postage. The Stamp Act. They actually, charge any type of publication in the United States. If you do not actually receive any type of approval given by the United Kingdom, then you would never actually issue a newspaper. That's really a tax imposed on. And that's really the cause of the Boston Tea Party, stamp. What is the significance of this title, Move On, of the cartoon? The opposite side, Move On. I think Native Americans are denied the right to vote. Move on. Yeah, until the 1920 or something like that, they were never given a voting right. Native Americans. Let me actually check the answer. Oh, well. Can I just stop it? Well, let me actually finish it. The first U.S. astronaut to orbit, Neil Armstrong. Is that one? No. John Glenn. England passed the Navigation Act in the 1960s too. Which of the following quotation best explain the constant manifest destiny? American colonies stay no longer in need of England protection. North Korea. North Korea, 38th parallel. President Lyndon B. Johnson program to expand the welfare system, civil rights act, Great Society. Lyndon B. Johnson is a Great Society. Of course, I remember it. That's really the economic problem, the Great Society. And the civil rights movement in 1964, that's really the legal rights given to the African American people, the Great Society. Excuse me, I attended American Civic class. At the time I established myself in Pennsylvania, there was not a good bookseller shop to this. Who's that? Benjamin Franklin? I cannot remember it. I'm so sorry, I don't really know. Lisa Hughes or Neil Hurston. Harlem Renaissance. Literary figures from Harlem Renaissance. Many people opposed the Kansas and Nebraska Act because they feared that it would. It's a tricky one. King, you're tired, you're poor, horrible messes, yearning to breathe the freezing, this homeless teen pressed and close to me. Breathe free. Southern slaves are freedom from. In which of the following war was the U.S. military involved for less than 2 years? World War? I think World War One. There's no. Congressional debate over the application state what is into primary law. It's a slavery. At the time for the land Appalachian. Louisiana Purchase. Bill Clinton was impeached in primary because he allegedly perjured in grand jury testimony. Vince Foster suicide and whitewash scandal and Whitewater, yeah, here. But that's not really the reason. Which of the following was the best known for the hippie counterculture? Hate Ashburn neighborhood in San Francisco. San Francisco is a hippie culture's mecca. Look at them. President Lincoln used an army to keep Maryland from seceding in 1860 and worked. prevent the Union's capital from being surrounded by Confederate states, I think. Millions of immigrants came to the United States for all the following reasons, except seek economic, escape poverty, escape religious, political persecution, earn more money, lose their cultural identity. That's not really the reason. Which of the following people would have been least likely to support progressive movement? Owner of a small business, I think. Progressive movement. Let me actually say that. But middle class woman, that's not true. Native born American. A person with a... You want to say small business or large corporation? That we are not talking about the liberal movement at this moment, but in the 20th, the Teddy Roosevelt. At the time, it was a really fight against large corporation, I think. And when Teddy Roosevelt introduced it, it wasn't really against the Carnegie or Rockefeller, those type of tycoon. They're really the target, who had been known for ripping off other people's labor. Right now, in a small business, they would be against a progressive notion. Well, we are not talking about the 21st century, but we're talking 20th, the progressive era. The Teddy Roosevelt was there. It's really about the larger corporation, I believe. 그건 a larger corporation이니까 아마. 나 이거 모르겠어. Candace Nebraska. 아, 이거 틀려야겠다. I don't really know. You really can't. 지금 이거 공부 안 한 거 몰라. 공부 진짜 하나도 안 한 상태여서 좀 몰라요. 진짜 10년 전 거 하는 거. 맙소사. Mountain Builder입니다. A 맞고 B 맞고 D 맞고 capital the location closest affordable. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Because once upon a time, Philadelphia was a temporary capital for the Constitutional Society. It's 1787. I thought that way. T. It was a Warren Charter Arthur Chester. B-A-E. A. E. Andrew Jackson. B. C. A. D. John Glenn. Exactly. A. Any business? Okay. I didn't get it. P. Gray Society. C. Okay. D. B. A. D. B. ED. Oh, yes. I did a pretty decent job. Let me actually solve another one. 다른 문제집 한번 풀어볼게요. 몇 개만 나 올릴 거예요. Diagnostic test is very important. Indentures rate. I don't know. Which one do I need to? Let me actually go straight into the middle. I want to actually try this one. US government and politics. Is there any diagnostic test? I need a diagnostic test to see where I'm standing right now. Is there any diagnostic test? I've never tried it before. It's a practice test, but I need a diagnostic test. Is there any diagnostic test? Is there any diagnostic test? That's a troublesome. This one that I had already. But why there is no diagnostic test? I don't buy it. Let me actually find it here. If you have a multiple choice here, let me actually try to solve it. Which of the following best illustrate Roosevelt's point of view? No. Why would you actually make the sound? I don't really hear it. I don't really understand it. Why? Can I actually go back to this history? I'm not lying. I'm not actually faking anything. Why would you actually make this sound? I don't want to hear it. Yeah, I want to actually solve a practice test in 110. Can I just actually start it from here? 55 to at least in 80. Let me actually see. The map illustrates which region in colonial America had the least diversified economy. New England. New England, everything is really cattle and grain. No, we cannot actually say that. There are many different things in the region. Okay. Then which way is a deep south? We only had a rice and indigo. Yeah, deep south isn't much better. We only have a very, very specified one. Savannah, Georgia. They don't really have anything different. Frontier. here is really nearby the front lines. This area is what? Tobacco, cattle, and grain, but there are two different things. Albany is also furs and skins and whiskey, furs and skins and whiskey. Rice and indigo. The prompt of the James Monroe. Person. Is a parochial school? What American president sent the military into Latin America while denying European countries the right to establish? I don't want to hear those people knocking on the door. I don't want to hear it. William McKinley, I think. New Deal measure the Supreme Court considered unconstitutionally. Work Progress Administration and Public Works Administration thing. Why were Americans willing to support Marshall Plan expenditure? American economy. The amount was spent. If you remember, was American freedom communism was significant threat to war. Yeah. This one is a bit tricky. Frontier is this region close to Canada. They also had a pretty much nothing going on. Middle colony. Nothing going on. Middle colony. Is that middle colony? There's almost nothing. Chesapeake region is here. They had a plentiful one. Definitely Chesapeake is not. New England is not the choice. And is that really a middle colony? Then I have to actually say the middle colony is really good. Deep south we have a forestry, lumber, and tobacco, and cotton, and different issue going on. Whiskey. Middle colony. This area. Is that this area? Middle colony. Where is middle colony? Isn't that really the reason here? Only here? I don't know. What prompted African American migrant in large number away from South? Passage of 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. 9. The need for workers. That's one of the reasons. In the first place, what first prompted workplaces? What colonial America had the widest variety of places of origin among its population? deep south, probably. At the time, they actually had a greater black population in the south, which of people were more strongly Puritanical. Chief author of the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, let me actually check the answer so far. Oh, Chesapeake. Oh, this one is it? Okay. I thought the frontier was really this year.